Good day everyone. Today I will talk about a very timely and powerful topic of organizational behaviors work stress. I will tell you what causes it, how it affects people and companies, and what to do in order to manage it or even leverage it. Presentation is divided into 5 key parts. Organizational behavior issue, the JDR model and its relationship to job stress, discussing and analyzing other elements and conclusions. The organizational behavior issue I will choose is work stress. Work stress happens when job demands exceed a worker's abilities or resource. It affects both mental and physical health and can lead to lower performance, burnout, and disengagement. In today's faster-paced, complex workplace, this issue is more urgent than ever. To better understand the stress, we use the job demands resource model. It tells us that all work involves 2 factors, demands and resource. Job demands include heavy workload, emotional strain, or time pressure. Job resource like autonomy, feedback, or support allow us to cope with those demands. If resources are poor and the demands are high, stress builds up. But if resources are strong, they can protect employers and even boost motivation. Conflict is a major source of stress. There are several types. Interpersonal conflict is emotional and usually personal. Think personality conflict between co-workers. Role conflicts arise when an employer receives conflicting demands from different supervisors. Task conflict, not surprisingly, can be positive if dealt with constructively through innovation and better decision making. Resource conflict and value conflict are more systemic. Bidding for limited resource or difference in ethics and values can create chronic stress unless they are resolved. Let us now get more involved with how workplace pressure is felt through interpersonal dynamics and its broader implications. Unsolved or poorly managed conflict, especially when it's interpersonal or role in nature, more often result in emotional distress. Employers can become chronically frustrated, worried, and even emotionally depleted. Over time, this emotional burden heavily impacts physical and mental health. It has a direct impact on job satisfaction, decreased morale, and eventually burnout. However, let it be said, not all conflict is bad. Conflict regarding tasks like how to meet goals, which technique to use, or how to set priority, and conflict that is managed well can actually be a source of eustress or good stress. This kind of stress has been proven to boost innovation, increase motivation, and boost overall team performance. The solution in this case is to promote open discussion and problem solving and not personal confrontation. This is supported by a 2024 hotel study in Denpasar, Indonesia, which discovered something quite fascinating. Through conflict did make staff more stressed. It also greatly enhanced the performance when well managed. This teaches us that proper management and support can turn conflict into an asset rather than a deficit, a means of increasing growth and productivity. Moving on to how stress affects problem solving. Much stress erodes our cognitive capacity, for example, memory, attention, and making sound decisions. Under pressure, employers may not be able to judge situations fairly, often leading to rushing into decisions, overlooking important details, or making substandard judgments. This is most dangerous in careers where accuracy is the norm or where the stakes are high. Once more, through there's an answer, organizations can offer structured problem-solving protocol like the PDCA cycle, brainstorming, or decision trees. This must allow employers to break up overwhelming problems into bite-sized chunks. Not only does this add to clarity, but it reduces the feeling of being overwhelmed as well. If these systems are further augmented with help from others and peer accountability, stress can be transformed into driving challenge rather than a destructive burden. Another critical buffer is psychological safety, a group culture where people feel they can speak up, ask for help, claim mistakes, or offer new ideas without fear of embarrassment and retaliation. Where there is this kind of culture, employers are much more likely to raise issues early so solutions can be implemented immediately and with greater effect. Now let's talk about communication, which all too often causes us to underestimate its power to create office stress. Unclear or conflicting communication is a common cause of role ambiguity if employees are not certain that what is expected of them, the person they must report to, or how their performance is being evaluated. It inevitably leads to confusion, anxiety, and decreased productivity. This ambiguity will delay decision making and increase the possibility of error. To communicate it, we have to do more than merely share information. Communication now has to be supported by active listening, empathy, and emotional intelligence. Especially in high-stakes environments, perhaps one of the greatest tools here is establishing psychological safety with positive dialogue. In addition to offhand conversations, formal process like anonymous suggestion boards, regular feedback sessions, or manager meetups offer employers a forum for voicing concerns. Such processes are early warning mechanisms, allowing organizations to recognize incipient suggestions before they become full-fledged problems. Now that I've examined how stress develops and how it interacts with communications and conflicts, let's take a closer look at two critical outcomes affected by work stress: job performance and organizational commitment. Work stress has one of the most immediate and visible impacts on job performance. Among the most common stressors that degrade performance are role ambiguity and time pressure. When employers are unclear about what is required of them, or when they are asked to meet unrealistically short deadlines, focus is difficult to maintain. They are often asked to multitask or respond to shifting priority without adequate time to process or plan. With such pressure, even the best employers may begin to drop their guards, miss important steps, or streamline process without double-checking. This results in a decline in quality and productivity, and when this becomes a habit, performance metric, client satisfaction, and even employer morale are put at risk. Now let us address original commitment, another crucial but less apparent consequence of job stress. Organizational commitment is a situation where an employer is emotionally committed to, identifies with, and becomes engaged with the company. High commitment in healthy environment is linked to lower turnover, higher initiative, and greater organizational citizenship behavior. Stress that is long-term, specifically stress tied to overwork, communication breakdowns, or ineffective leadership can erode that emotional bond over time. Workers disengage, lose faith, or get burned out. And once commitment is lost, motivation is not far behind. This creates ripple effect, low engagement, higher absenteeism, and eventually more turnover. Lastly, managing pressure and conflict in the workplace is not about eradicate stress but about its identification in forms, support, and the conversion of pressure into performance through emotional support, problem solving through structure, or better communication. A well-managed workplace makes sure that employers learn, innovate, and thrive in the face of adversity. Thank you for listening.